Hi, my name is Alyssa. My mom kind of challenged me to start doing videos to show people kind of like how I see the Bible, and if I was that person, what would I be thinking in that moment when either God was talking to me, or the Spirit, or Jesus said something, or even the circumstance that that person was in. How would I react? Because, well, I had been telling her all the stories about how I would react, such as like if I was Paul and I was guarded by 16 men, I would be thinking, yeah, I'm going to pull out mixed martial arts and just kick all your guys' butts. No, that's not what happened. I would be thinking, why are there 16 men watching me? And this is going to be really awkward to go to the bathroom. But the reason why I've been reading the Bible more and more is because I moved halfway across the world. I'm actually in Korea. I've been here for 3 months. It's nerve-wracking, it's chaotic, and it's really scary, and sometimes very, very much overwhelming. And reading my Bible more has made it less overwhelming. But I never would have actually started reading it more if I hadn't have moved halfway across the world. So moving here, I've actually been watching things on Right Now Media, and on there was a lady who speaks about the 21-day challenge in her series called Seeking God First. So at the end of it, she challenges you to do the 21-day challenge, and I thought, why not? It's only 21 days, what's the big deal? I'd never read my Bible in depthly. What better time to start? So I did, and upon doing that, my mom's gets to hear all the stories about what I think as if I was that person. And she said, do a video. So this is going to be my first video, and we'll see how it goes, and there'll probably be more to come. But today I'd like to look at John, first chapter. I'm not really going to give you any verses because I'm kind of going to go in sequence to things. But I also want you to go and read it after, or read it before you even listen to me. So in the very beginning of it, it tells you that the Word became flesh. So this means that Jesus came down from heaven to become human. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I flew about 20 hours to get here. That's a long time to just move halfway across the world. That's a big change. But he didn't come halfway across the world. He came to the world. He wasn't even in this world at that time. He came down from heaven. That's even longer to go, and it's really impressive to know that he was willing to give up living in heaven, where everything's, in my mind, rainbows and butterflies, to coming down to earth, where sometimes it's pretty darn crappy. So he was willing to do that. I guess I can fly halfway across the world if he tells me to. That's not as big of a deal. And I want to jump actually further forward. So he's come down into the world. We meet John the Baptist, and people are going, how are you baptizing if you are not Elijah or a prophet or the Messiah? And John's just trying to explain to them, I baptize with water, but the one who is coming after me is going to baptize in the Spirit. And the people don't really get to understand this until a lot later in the book of John. But I don't even want to talk about that right now. We can go back to that later. I really want to talk about Nathaniel, who he's just sitting under a tree basically, and some of the first disciples called him like, Nathaniel, like, come on over here. And then they're like, this guy's the Messiah. And he's like, cool, whatever. And he's like, okay, prove it to me that you're the Messiah. And Jesus says, well, I saw you sitting over there under the tree. And Nathaniel's like, whoa, done it, that's Messiah, got it. If I was Nathaniel, I would be thinking, good job, you have eyes. I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw me sitting under the tree over there. So I guess I don't really believe as quickly as Nathaniel did, but that's kind of what I was thinking is, really? You saw me sitting under a tree and you expect me to believe just like that? But Nathaniel did, and Jesus actually praises him for automatically believing with just those few words that he's the Messiah. Okay, now let's jump into chapter 2. This is one of my favorite ones too as well, is Jesus and his mom have gone to a wedding. Oh, how cute, mom and son going to a wedding. Man, mom knows that Jesus is the Messiah, that he's got some awesome powers. And at this wedding, they've run out of the good wine. Well, they've run out of wine altogether. So, Mary's just looking at Jesus going, all right, son, water, wine, let's do it. And Jesus is like, no, 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 this is not my time. Like, it's not time for me to do anything yet. And mom's just like, servants, come over here. My son's gonna take care of it. Whatever he tells you to do, you do it. And man, if I was his mom, I'd be like, all right, son, you don't want to do it? You're God. Got it. I'm not gonna make you do it. But she was like, no, put my foot down. This party needs wine, and you're gonna make it. So one of his first miracles is very, very simple, and just turning water into wine. And it's so simple because he doesn't pull out any abracadabra, like secret spell or anything. He literally just says, go fill these barrels with water and then pour the water. So if I was the servant, I'm sorry, I would be thinking, you want me to serve water to my master? Well, I've got nothing left to lose because I've got no wine anyway. So, what the heck? So they did it. They poured the water into wine, and it turned out to actually be better than any of the wine they had been serving, and pleased all the party guests all the more. And then we move on from there, and he actually goes and enters the temple. Now, what's happening in the temple is they're selling goats, and money changers are in there, and they're selling all the clean animals there. Now, at this time period, this is actually okay to do, historically speaking, but what was not okay, and what was really angering for Jesus, was the fact that they weren't just selling the nice and the clean animals, and they were selling the temple money, which the people needed the temple money to buy the clean animals. They were doing this, but they had put the prices up. So when you went to purchase the temple money, you had to pay an arm and a leg for it. And then you had to go buy an animal, which may not have actually been clean. So Jesus is angry, not just because they're selling these things, it's that they're ripping off the people. And Jesus is like, no, we don't do this here. And if I was any of the people there and I saw this guy coming in, ramping and raging and flipping tables, yeah, I would run too. But it's a different type of rage. He comes in with a holy rage. He's there because people are taking away from the little person so that they can have a gain. And Jesus is all about, throughout the whole Bible, he's all about protecting those who are lower, that the weak or the poor are to be protected, not exploited. And that's what these people were doing. They were exploiting them. So Jesus came in and he was like, nope, this is done. I'm gonna break it up. So he did. And if I was there, it would probably be the scariest thing I'd ever witnessed, aside from knowing that if you go against the law, sometimes you get beheaded. But yeah, this is my first video. I'm gonna stop there for the first 2 chapters of John, and I will post later with I think with the second 2 chapters, but you'll have to wait and see. Thanks for listening.